In the early spring, something happened in Atlanta that the police never expected. A homeless black man, ragged and shivering in front of a high-rise hotel, was handcuffed for loitering. But when they searched him, what they found changed everything. This wasn't just another case of someone down on their luck. No, this was a setup. And he wasn't who they thought he was. Officer Daniels spotted him first. Dirty coat, matted hair, sitting beside a dumpster with a crumpled McDonald's cup. He looked like every other forgotten soul. But the man wasn't begging, wasn't mumbling. He was watching, quietly, focused. That made Daniels suspicious. "ID?" Daniels asked. The man didn't move, just stared. "Stand up." The man complied slowly. No aggression, just silence. They ran his prints. Nothing. Not even a parking ticket. That made things weirder. Then Daniels noticed a key fob hanging from his belt loop. It didn't belong. Not with the torn jeans and crusted shoes. Daniels snatched it, pressed the unlock button. Beep, beep. A silver 2020 Bentley Continental blinked from the curb. Officer Daniels froze. The homeless man just said one word, "Yup." Backup arrived. They tackled him, face to the pavement, accused of stealing, grand theft auto. But he kept repeating the same thing, calm, cold. "Check the registration." They didn't. Not at first. They assumed he was lying, a common thief with dumb luck. But when Detective Harris finally checked the glove compartment, the registration said, "Owner, Elijah St. James," the same name he gave them. That's when things started spiraling. Who was Elijah St. James? Because 5 years ago, that name was everywhere. Harvard graduate, tech prodigy, the genius behind a billion-dollar app that sold to Google. Black excellence personified. But then he vanished. Headlines faded, rumors flew, drugs, prison, scandal. Nobody knew for sure. But now, here he was, in handcuffs, on the sidewalk. No one believed it, not even Detective Harris. So they ran deeper checks, cross-referenced his face. Biometrics matched, fingerprints too. It was him, the golden boy who disappeared. Elijah St. James had resurfaced, homeless. And what he told them next made Harris shiver. He said, "I didn't lose everything, it was taken." Back in 2020, Elijah built Vista Tech, a small AI firm with big dreams. But as the company grew, his investors, old money, white suits, started pushing him out. First, they suggested a seasoned CEO. Then they filed a lawsuit accusing Elijah of embezzlement. The case was fake. The numbers were forged. But the story hit Forbes. And once the press turned, so did the public. Overnight, he became a villain. By the time Elijah proved his innocence, the damage was done. Vista Tech was gone. His shares diluted. His name blacklisted. No firm would touch him. He was unhireable. They took everything, even his apartment. And when he tried to fight back, he was followed, watched, threatened. They wanted him erased. So he disappeared, lived in his Bentley, moved city to city, gathered evidence, quietly, carefully, for 3 years, until now. Why was he in Atlanta? Because one of the board members who orchestrated his downfall, Mitchell Crane, was in town for a tech summit. Crane thought Elijah was buried, forgotten. But Elijah had hacked his laptop, got access to old emails, leaked memos, files that proved the conspiracy, blackmail, insider trading. It was all there. But he needed a moment, a public moment, something to force the truth into light. So he waited outside that hotel, for Crane, for justice. But the police came first. Now Detective Harris was listening. And what he saw in Elijah's eyes, it wasn't madness. It was precision. This man wasn't broken. He was hunting. So Harris made a call, quietly, had the Bentley impounded for processing, but secretly, he had the car swept for evidence. Found a hard drive in the wheel well, password locked. But with Elijah's cooperation, they unlocked it. The files, devastating. Emails showing Crane and the CFO discussing how to plant fake invoices. An audio file of a board meeting where someone literally said, "If we don't push Elijah out, This company won't stay white. Even photos of wire transfers from Vistatech's stolen funds to offshore accounts tied to Crane's wife. It was enough to bury them. But here's where it twists. Before Harris could move on the warrant, someone tipped off Crane. 2 hours later, Elijah's Bentley was torched, burned to metal. And when police returned to the precinct, Elijah was gone, vanished. No footage, no witnesses, just his empty cell, wide open. Was it escape or a message? Because 3 days later, Crane's house was robbed. No forced entry, just his personal safe, empty. Same for his office, same for his Cayman account. Drained, and the surveillance footage, corrupted, almost like it never existed. Meanwhile, a letter appeared on Harris's desk. No address, no name, just a single line. Now he knows what it feels like to be erased. Elijah St. James is still missing. Crane's empire is collapsing. And every week, a new file from the Vistatech vault leaks online, slowly destroying the men who tried to destroy him. The system failed Elijah. But Elijah learned the system, and now he's using it to burn it all down. But here's the catch. Last week, a video surfaced on the dark web. Grainy, untraceable. It shows Crane, tied to a chair, begging. Behind him, a man in shadows, calm, unblinking. Elijah St. James had just exposed Project Omen, a hidden surveillance operation more sinister than anyone imagined. The leaked files revealed over 73,000 classified documents, AI source code, encrypted memos, and a trail of corruption leading to private military contractors. The tech Elijah once built to protect the innocent was being used to hunt them. Protesters, journalists, political enemies. All tracked using facial data scraped without consent, mostly from Black communities. And at the core of the system, a signature buried in the algorithm. 3 letters, E-J, Elijah St. James. The same man they tried to erase had been built into the machine as its silent creator. It was the ultimate betrayal. Elijah had been framed not just to destroy his life, but to protect something far darker. The system wasn't broken. It was built this way. Detective Harris tried to escalate the leak to federal agencies, but the moment he mentioned Project Omen, his screen blacked out, his badge ID deactivated. By sunrise, he was suspended and placed under federal review. But Harris already knew. Elijah was telling the truth, and now someone wanted that truth buried forever. Meanwhile, chaos erupted across the internet. Hackers, journalists, activists, everyone scrambled to download the leaks before they vanished. But the final file, that's what changed everything. Labeled Omega_001-final, it wasn't a document. It was a video, seemingly harmless. Until 42 seconds in, an unlisted logo appeared. Red, angular, not Vistatech, not federal. It belonged to a secret organization no one had ever heard of, the Vanner Group. Deep dives into the dark web revealed Vanner wasn't a company. It was a syndicate. Rogue intelligence agents, tech moguls, ex-military operatives, a shadow network whose mission was digital dominance, total information control. They weren't using Elijah's tech to spy. They were using it to dominate. Vistatech was just the mask. Mitchell Crane hadn't betrayed Elijah for profit. He'd done it to hide Vanner's infiltration, the embezzlement charges, the media takedown, the forged arrest warrant. It wasn't about greed. It was about silencing the only man who could stop them. But they made one mistake. Elijah embedded a failsafe deep in the core of the AI, a subroutine that would trigger if his name was ever flagged as a national threat. And once triggered, it would leak the truth, slowly, relentlessly, one piece of evidence every 24 hours, an unstoppable timer, and now it had begun. 3 days after the Omega leak, a van was discovered near a DC data center, burned, 2 bodies inside. One was believed to be Mitchell Crane, the other unidentified, DNA destroyed, teeth removed. But on the dashboard was a single object, a black chess king, and next to it, a sticky note. Checkmate isn't the end. It's the start of a new game. Panic spread. One by one, Vistatech's remaining board members disappeared. One caught fleeing through Mexico, another in hiding in Eastern Europe. But even with their silence, the files kept coming. The leaks weren't just targeting companies now. They were reaching governments, embassies, intelligence agencies. Every power structure connected to Vanner was bleeding. Then came the most chilling moment, a 3:33 a.m. upload to a dead YouTube channel. No title, just static. Then Elijah's voice cut through, calm, confident, dangerous. "You wanted to erase me, so I became the glitch. You built a system to trap us. Now I've given the world the map. You think I'm alone, but I'm not. And if you're listening, it's already too late." The screen faded to black, then flashed GPS coordinates, somewhere in Greenland. Deep beneath the ice, an underground data vault. Rumors flew. That's where Elijah stored the master key, a kill switch, proof of everything. No one could confirm it. But the Vanner group suddenly went dark. Websites vanished. Shell companies dissolved. Stock prices plummeted. But the twist wasn't over. Hours later, a new file leaked. Not a video, not code. A scanned document, a birth certificate. Mother, Mariah St. James. Father, classified. Place of birth, redacted. At the bottom, handwritten in black ink. This wasn't just revenge. This was personal. That's when things spiraled. Elijah hadn't just been framed. He'd been born into something much bigger. Harris dug deeper. 2 weeks before Elijah disappeared, hospital records showed he'd submitted a DNA test under a false name. The results were never picked up, but the hospital server was hacked last night, and someone accessed the file. The match? A senior U.S. intelligence official, high clearance, longtime Vanner associate, meaning Elijah wasn't just a threat, he was connected. Blood, legacy, possibly a product of the very system he was now destroying. The revelation hit like a grenade. What if Elijah wasn't just retaliating? What if he'd been preparing his whole life for this moment? Raised in the shadows, betrayed by blood, built for war. And now the world was watching the final puzzle fall into place. Because just after the DNA breach, a new video surfaced. A man, hooded, tied to a steel chair, beaten, gasping, and in the background, Elijah's voice. One by one, brick by brick, you erased us. But now, we erase you. Then static. The footage ends. Authorities haven't located Elijah. The FBI denies the DNA match. Vanner is calling the leaks fabricated, but no one believes them. Every day, a new truth drops. Every day, another lie dies. Elijah St. James is no longer a fugitive. He's a symbol, a storm, a glitch in the system they can't contain. To be continued, like and subscribe for part 2.